Hello everyone, welcome to Spirit Lives Tarot. Today we're going to be doing a reading for the full moon that's coming up in August, which they call the green corn moon. This moon has a bit of an association to being patient, and it's like something that is building like the harvest, and can then come to full bloom or full harvest in September. So we're going to have three piles. The first pile is going to be is the sun. The second pile is the lion, because it's August and the Leo time. And the third is the box. You will receive a gift, is what the box says. The lion says time to act, and the sun says happiness and well-being. So just pick a pile based on the card and your intuition, and based on the card that you pick, I will be doing a reading for each of the different cards. If you are attracted to more than just one, then you can always watch all three if you want, but that is the goal. All right, now full moons are all about letting go. So what is it that you need to let go of at this full moon, or you can choose to let go of at the full moon, and then with the full cycle until you get to the new moon, it gives you a chance to take steps. But we'll talk about that with every reading. All right. Now you can find the timestamps below to go to the reading of your choice. Remember, the sun is number 1, the lion is number 2, and the box is number 3. I'll see you there. Hello, pile number 1. Today we're going to be doing a reading about the full moon of August, which is called the green corn moon. And the green corn moon is associated with the word patience in this card. The idea being that things haven't yet come to full fruition, and you have to be patient and wait for the harvest, which will come in September, the harvest moon. So in the meanwhile, we are going to be doing a reading about what is it that it would be good for you to let go of at this time. Well, at the time of the full moon, which is when I will be posting this reading. Normally, all full moons give you the possibility of letting go of something that is no longer serving you. And so, and then you have 2 weeks to slowly take the steps needed in order to make that shift before the new moon, which then opens the possibility of starting something new. So I will be reading for you I will be reading, I'm getting some downloads, but I will be reading for you what, for pile number 1, are the things that you might want to let go of in August, all right? At and after the full moon. So just to remind you, the card for pile number 1, oops, I'm pointing in the wrong direction, my apologies. Card for pile number 1 is the sun. It's happiness and well-being. And you might well ask, how does this have anything to do with releasing? Well, we'll soon find out. We're going to put it aside for now, next to the incense and the crystal and the lion. And we're going to keep this in the center, and we're going to do some tarot cards. All right. So, pile number 1. What do they need to release in August? starting with the full moon in August. Okay, first thing you get is justice. Oh, it's not fitting very well, is it? Okay, well, I guess we'll do it a different way. I was going to make a circle around the moon, but clearly that's not going to work, so we will try something different. There we go. We'll start with justice up here. All right. The next one to fall out was the King of Wands. Put it over here. That'll work. Okay. And the Hierophant. Okay. Let's try that. That'll be good enough, I guess. Let's see what else comes out for you. So, looking at what's come out so far, we're talking about, oh, this one just jumped out on its own. There we go. High Priestess right next to the Hierophant. Now that's interesting. Then we got the Four of Swords, the Ace of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, and I think we can fit one more in here. So let's take it. Oh, this one wants to come out. The Hanged Man. Okay. So let's see what this is telling us. There's a big theme of balance, rest, calm. As you can see, you have justice, which has to do with balance. You have the Four of Swords, which is about rest and recuperation. You have the Hanged Man, which talks about taking it slow, pausing and taking a look at different perspectives. And then you have a combination, and of course the Seven of Pentacles, where you're trying to decide of the seeds that you've planted and that you've taken care of, which one is ready for harvest. The High Priestess and the Hierophant point to a spiritual side to this. And then, of course, you have here a lot of activity in Wands. So you have the King of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and the Eight of Wands. So combining those two things and the card of Patience and the Sun, we're looking at a situation where you're being asked to take a break, to take it slow. What you need to let go of is this feeling that you need to always go fast. You need to always be doing things, okay? You need to always be working. This month, the month of August, and it's very convenient because being that it's summer, there will be a lot of vacations and such. You are being asked to take a break, to delve within, to take some time to figure out what's important to you in your heart versus in what you've been taught should be. Sorry, this is, the Hierophant is all about sort of existing structures, the traditional way, the things that have been taught as important and also spiritual sometimes, but very structured. Whereas the High Priestess talks about secret knowledge, going within, intuition, and so on. So when we combine these things, we're talking King of Wands and the Hierophant. This is where you've been up till now. You've been working very hard. You've been trying to achieve in the way that is traditional. So probably a regular job or what is expected of you. And you are being asked to look at, or you've been looking at, I'm not sure, whether or not you can achieve balance with this. Is there a way to bring in a little more time to look within, to see what you need, to take care of yourself? So based on the card, the patience, I think you probably haven't yet figured out exactly how you want to do that, or what is it that you need. So you need to have a little patience. This card is telling you it's coming, it's bubbling from within. You need to take time for yourself, quiet time, meditate or rest or chill out on the beach, whatever relaxes you and lets your mind sort of drift a bit, and just let it kind of come to you. Don't dig too hard. That kind of knowledge that has to do with your inner self, with your soul desires, it needs to be allowed to bubble to the surface. You may not have been allowing it, but once you allow it, it will reveal to you what it is that you need to do to make yourself feel more in balance. However, your temptation is to keep moving. You're having fun with what you're doing, but your temptation is not to stop. Not to stop, to keep moving, to keep building, to keep planting seeds or creating businesses or whatever it is that you're doing at the moment, to move as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible, and not be stuck, not feel stuck, not feel like you have to stop. And I know that can be scary, but actually it's what you need according to this reading. So how are you supposed to give yourself the time, aside from going on vacation, to feel into what needs to be done and to release what needs to be released? Let's take a look with some tea leaves. So, spiritual growth. Increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. I think in this case, given that it's combined with the Hierophant and the High Priestess, we're talking about spiritual growth. In order to have good luck, and you need to be willing to change. But if you are, it's going to bring you great happiness and, surprisingly, great wealth. Now, wealth can mean money, or given what this says, it might be referring to great wealth in other areas of your life, in spiritual area, or in just balance and abundance and feeling like you're living the life that is right for you. So, in summary, for this full moon, take a moment, breathe into it on that day. Give yourself some time to think about what this reading has told you, and then let it go and try to be still for a little while and see what bubbles up. Ask yourself, what do I need to release? And once you have the answer to that, decide how you're going to take micro steps to make that happen in a way that feels right for you. So if you need help with that, I have a little meditation which I will link below, which you can use to guide you through that process on the full moon, on the, what is it called? Green corn full moon. On the green corn moon. But remember, this is not about working hard. This is about having patience, being kind to yourself, being restful, and just getting a little insight into what small shifts you can make over the next 2 weeks after the full moon in order to release something that is no longer beneficial to you, and prepare the ground. Prepare the ground in order to plant new seeds, and new seeds that have to do with something that will nurture you. In 2 weeks, I will post, approximately 2 weeks, on the new moon, I will post a reading for the new moon. And if I can, I'll also have a meditation for that. And if you're interested and you enjoyed this, please come back for that. Thank you, pile number 1. Good luck. Hello, pile number 2. Today we are doing a reading about what can you expect from the green corn moon. What kinds of things does that moon allow you to release during the moon and the full moon, and also the 2 weeks that follow? And that's it, really. What kinds of things that are no longer serving you should you be looking at releasing? This is your card. I introduce your pile to you. It's the Lion, and with the statement, time to act. Okay. And the card, the moon for this lunation, or this full moon for August, is the green corn moon, as I introduced at the beginning, and with the associated word patience on this card. Okay, so now let's get some tarot cards and see what this reading has to tell you. So, first one that came out, grasshopper. That's great, the Page of Wands. Maybe you're having too much fun. Is that possible? Okay, let's see. These are the ones that fell out, so let's start with them. And if we need to, we will get more. So the Page of Wands, the King of Cups, the Three of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords. Interesting combination. Then you have the Chariot, the Lovers, the Six of Cups, the High Priestess. Interesting that the High Priestess did come out in the last reading. So if you are interested or you were attracted to pile number 1, I would recommend you take a look at that reading. And then finally, the Star. Okay, all right. So what is this all trying to tell you? What should you be releasing or looking at for release in the full moon of the green corn moon in August? Well, we started off with the Page of Wands, which is a little grasshopper there having a lot of fun, which reminds me of the story of the grasshopper that did nothing during the summer to prepare for the winter. But it also is the Page of Wands, which usually has to do with new ideas, new opportunities, new action. Then you have movement here, so taking action as well. Remember, the question is, what should you release? You have Lovers and the King of Cups. So something to do with emotions. Six of Cups has to do with the past, pleasant emotions from the past. The Lovers is often related to a choice, not just love, although these ones are so cute, honestly. I think they're more loving than most Lovers cards. King of Cups has to do with controlling your emotions, or not necessarily controlling, but having dominance. No, okay, that sounds too controlling. That's not what I mean. Being able to flow with your emotions without letting them control you. All right. And then we have here on the right hand side the Three of Pentacles, which has to do with celebrations and fun, and look at them, they're having so much fun. But they're also working together. So Three of Pentacles is usually mostly working together, but these three are working together in a very entertaining way. So it looks like fun. They're pom-poms, but they also look like fireworks, for example. Then you have your High Priestess, which is a very cheeky High Priestess with her little wink. But the High Priestess is usually talking about delving within, seeing what's there, intuition, secret knowledge, that kind of thing. And then we have the Star, your dream. Obviously a dream that has you very worried. Usually the Nine of Swords is things that scare you, but for no good reason, because they're not actually worries that are going to come true. They're worries or fears that you're kind of tying yourself up in them, but without good reason. So obviously these fears are part of what you have to release, or what is being suggested by the tarot reading that you should release. They're associated in some way with a dream of yours, that is maybe a little bit out of the box in nature, or that you've kept secret for a while because you just don't feel confident that other people would understand it. You've been patient with it, apparently. It's been a long time since that you've had this dream. Quite a while. And the choice to sort of put it aside, it seems, was made based on your emotions. You were afraid, and you were also not certain that this was the right path ahead. So you've been, looks to me like having a rather fun life. It seems that life might be a distraction. So having a lot of fun, moving forward, taking action, always in movement, controlling, or at least not letting your emotions control you. Your choice was made. And living with your choice, being consistent with your choice. And yet, this dream that you've had for a very long time, ever since maybe you were a child, is still there. It's still there, and your soul has been very patiently waiting for you to sort of acknowledge it. It's like this balloon is your dream, and you're holding on to it, but you're not letting it free, letting it expand. So I think in the end, what this reading seems to be saying is that you need to, or you might want to, release this strict control you have on yourself about this dream. This need to consider what others might think rather than what you want. These fears that if you go ahead with the dream, others will not understand, or others will put it down, or maybe it won't even succeed, etc. It's not about success, it seems, this dream so far. but I will be getting more cards in a moment. But it does seem like something that has been on your mind, or at least you haven't been able to shake for a very long time, but you haven't tried to do anything with. So now let's pull some cards to see how do you move forward from here. What should you really be releasing? And maybe what steps can you take, you know? Oh boy, a whole bunch of cards popped out. I don't know how these are going to work out, but let's try. Let's start first with the first two that popped out. Feeling tied down or frustrated. That's the yoke. Temptation will test you. It's apple. Then well, wow, okay, check this out. All of these came out. So, wealth, harp, great happiness, mule, someone's being very stubborn. Oh, this came out in the first reading as well. So you might want to take a look at reading number 1, if it attracts you. Bell, announcement, and success. Okay. So potentially, what you are suppressing, this thing that you're so afraid of, is actually something that, should you release this tight control you have on yourself, or allow yourself to be tempted to investigate it, look into it. Maybe when you first made this decision that it wasn't right, that it wouldn't be accepted, etc., maybe at that time it was the right thing for you to put a pause on it. Or maybe you were younger and you didn't have all the experience that you have now. But at this time, the idea is that potentially this dream of yours, this secret dream of yours from your childhood, has a lot of potential to success, to wealth, to happiness, all right? The only thing is that great happiness is right there. Somebody is being very stubborn and unwilling to change. Now, that could be you. I'm leaning towards it might be you, but it could also be other people, certain other people that you feel close to, that you tend to work with, that potentially were the first ones to sort of encourage you to abandon this dream, or to give you the kind of feedback that made you abandon this dream. But it seems like there might be an announcement that will suddenly make it a lot easier to deal with that. But regardless of all of that, what this is saying is what you need to release, or what, I guess I'll say you need, but of course this is just a reading, so you will have to decide what to do. But what the reading is indicating is that the best thing for you to release would be your abandonment of this dream. You're blocking it out. You're trying to distract yourself and move on. And when you're feeling tied down, just get out there and have fun and whatever, to distract yourself from the fact that that dream is still there. That dream is nudging you. It's asking you to do something. Okay? So if you can release that level of restriction on yourself and allow yourself to breathe and to think about, okay, maybe the form this dream was in was a little immature, but maybe it can still work. Maybe I can do it just for fun. It doesn't need to be super successful or bring me wealth or whatever. Maybe I can just give it a chance. Well, maybe that's what you might want to do at the green corn moon. Now, I recommend that on the full moon, you make a note of what this reading has told you, and then you find a nice quiet place, take a few breaths, and center yourself. And then think about what this reading has said, then let it go, and then ask yourself, what do I need to release for this full moon and over the next couple of weeks until the new moon, to make space for something new and beautiful to come into my life. So, when you do that, you might find that the answer is the same, or you might find something new bubbling up. But either way, try doing that, and then think about, once you have your answer, what micro steps can you take to get you from where you are now to what you need to release over the 2 weeks after the full moon. And then write those down and move forth into the period of releasing. Now, if you need help doing this for the first time, or you're not very comfortable with meditation, visualization, breathing in and listening to your inner self, well, I've done a small meditation that may be able to help you. I'll link it in the comments, and it's free. Help yourself if you like, okay? Otherwise, use whatever technique works for you. And for the new moon in August, I think it's the end of August, I will be creating a new recording, a new tarot reading to talk about not releasing, but what seeds to plant, what to start, what new beginning could be coming for you with the new moon. Okay. Wishing you well. Good luck. Welcome, pile number 3. Today we are doing a reading for the full moon, the green corn moon, with the keyword patience. As I described in the introduction, the green corn moon is about releasing. All full moons actually are about releasing, but the green corn moon is preparing for harvest time as well. So, interestingly, your card says, box, you will receive a gift. So, let's get started. So what we're trying to find out is what kinds of things, what recommendation is there for what you need to release with the green corn moon in August. Okay, it's interesting. With the other two piles, the cards were jumping like crazy. With your pile, the cards are very serene. It's rather nice, actually. Okay, let's start with that. I don't know how many cards I have, but we'll get into it later. All right, so your first card is the Magician. Very nice. Then you have the Lovers. The Four of Pentacles. And the Two of Swords. The Seven of Swords. up. The Emperor, the Queen of Wands, and now I need two more up. This one came out by itself, Three of Cups, and I guess, well, no, not that one, doesn't want to come out. Let's see, what's the last one? This one, okay. And the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles came out in pile number 2's reading, but I think in this case the context is very different. Normally when similar cards come out, I recommend that if you are so inclined and were attracted to the previous reading, you should see it. However, and in this case that's true too, but I think the context is extremely different here, so it may not be relevant. So, let's go through it. The Magician is generally someone who can manifest. They can take all of the elements at hand, everything, they have everything they need to be able to create what they want. And here you have the Lovers, and the Lovers, as you know, generally are not necessarily a love card, but they can be, but they also incorporate very much a matter of choice. Choices made. In this case, however, look at these little ones. They're so cute and so loving. So who knows? Seven of Swords has to do with preparing yourself or finding a shortcut to something or defending yourself. But more often than not, it's preparing. And then we have the Emperor, the controlling aspect, the very, very stable and powerful, and yet sometimes overly controlling element. Queen of Wands, which is all about being from a feminine power sort of side, very grounded, very powerful, full of energy, and keen to take action. This coming around the word patience. And then you have the Four of Pentacles to do with protecting what you have, and the Three of Cups, celebration with friends, social. Three of Pentacles is working with others successfully, and in this case, quite a celebratory Three of Pentacles as well. Look at them, high five, high 10. All right. And then you have your Two of Swords, which is also similarly a card of choice, although at a different level than the Lovers. The Two of Swords proposes that you have two options, that you have to drop one in order to keep the other. It's not so much both options can work. However, in this case, that's usually a woman holding two swords. In this case, your alligator is using his tail to hold them both. So who knows? So, what does this mean for us? Let me digest a minute. It sounds like you have been trying to create some kind of protection and stability for yourself, related to the choices you're making that may or may not have to do with a significant other, right? You've been working really hard to create this level of stability, to create possibly financial, possibly simply reduce the chaos in your life, the potential chaos, by forming a protection or finding shortcuts to things, or in this case I think it's more forming a protection or removing weapons from somebody else that might have them and might point them at you. And you've been quite successful at doing this. The Magician never fails at what he's trying to do. And the Queen of Wands is sort of where you stand right now. You're quite stable, quite fulfilled, a very patient yet ready to act person. But from all this focus on building and protecting and stabilizing, it seems you're leaving out a little bit of fun, a little bit of celebration, a little bit of working together with others. You're sort of trying to take it and do it all yourself and do it in a very structured way, very responsible way. You feel like you can't do that and still go have fun, be social, enjoy your friends and family, at least not fully. You can't let go because you're worried that that will take you away from your focus, which is stability, control, keeping your resources, not wasting them, defending yourself against what may come. You've made that choice on purpose and consciously. You have no regrets about that, it seems. But what this reading is indicating is perhaps what you need to release now is the extreme level of control you've been applying. Doesn't mean you have to go wild. Doesn't mean you have to get rid of what structures and habits and behaviors have gotten you to this place where you're feeling stable and in control and safe. But maybe let go just a little bit, have some fun. You've earned it. So you can release a little bit of that control. Doesn't have to be all of it, just a little bit. You can have both things. But you have to let go just a little bit. All right, let's pull in some tea leaves to see if they support what we've been saying here or if they have some other perspective. Okay, wow, lots of tea leaves. Well, let's start with the ones that fell on the reading, then we'll see. This month one fell right on here, and it shows January. Now, I don't know if you started this process or you reached your goal of feeling in control in January, but let's see what else we get in here. Sorrow over loss. So it seems like that was the trigger, and you were having some temporary problems, which would be the reason why you made this choice to focus on stability and on controlling things. Now, this one fell right on top of here, the celebration card. This is so funny, and this is lighthearted, carefree times, the jug. So it's re-emphasizing what we just said. It's important for you to allow for that. So to release control just enough to allow yourself to have lighthearted times. Okay, so here we have danger in money matters, new job or career, something important such as a new job or a raise, love, happiness, trouble and accusations. Wow, this is just too many. Financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. Oh dear, you can't see any of these, can you? Okay, let me put them some other way. All right, this is like never ending here. Too many. Maybe I shouldn't be placing all of these, but I've started, so I might as well. Okay, so it seems you were having the temporary problems, the loss was probably related to money. because it says danger, especially in money matters, your feeling of being in danger. And you might have had to go find yourself a new career, a new job. Which you apparently really like. Love, it's making you happy. But there's some trouble accusations. I don't know what that's trying to say, so we're going to put it aside for a moment and continue with these. Financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past, so that's probably related to some kind of savings or something like that that you were trying to control and keep safe. Yeah, protection from a powerful friend, protected from negative forces beyond your control. And then we have unsuccessful plans. Again, I think this is related to this one that I'm not clear on, so give me a minute. Pay attention to your work. Okay, but then it says get together with friends. So these two, trouble accusations and unsuccessful plans, I believe are associated to what was happening before, but let's just clarify with tarot. Here though, we see a very consistent theme. Some kind of danger, probably related to money and job, possibly starting in January or else you found a solution in January. New job and career, you made a choice, you moved forward, you like what you've done, you're very happy with where you are right now. And it's actually turned out to be financially beneficial. You've been able to keep your savings. You've had protection from either friends or spirits or whatever. You've been protected, or you feel like you've been protected, and you've been paying a lot of attention to your work. Now, as far as releasing, you've kind of got yourself into a knot. You're afraid of unsuccessful plans, and so you are really controlling. Even though you're happy with how this has gone on this aspect of your life, you're not really allowing yourself yet to get out there, relax, be lighthearted, have some fun, get together with your friends. There's a lot of emphasis on friends for a project, for a party, for just carefree times. And that is what we've been talking about. Relax that control just a little bit, just enough to allow you to do that. Now, let's clarify this thing here. Judgment. Okay. All right. So, it seems like this knot and trouble and accusations is more an internal issue. It's like you don't really trust your judgment 100%. You're a bit worried that things, although they're looking good right now, might fall apart. Okay? And you want to move very consistently, very carefully, keep taking very careful steps, and you don't want to do anything that might destabilize that. And I can totally understand it. I'm very sorry you went through such a difficult time. But from the reading, it's saying you've done well. You've done exactly what you needed to do. You're getting the rewards for what you've done. Now you can slightly modify your plan. Give it a little more room to work with. That's what you could release. The very tight control, just make it a little less tight. Just a little, little. Okay, so that's it for me. Now let me mention, when the full moon comes along, I recommend that you take a moment to review what this reading has told you. Then you find a nice, quiet, comfortable place on your own, and you take a few breaths. You think about what it said, and then you let it go. You get a little quiet inside, and then you ask yourself, what do I need to let go of in this full moon? Now, it might be an echo of what this reading is saying, or it might be something completely different. But listen to what your inside is telling you, and then think about how you can take some micro steps to get there. And those micro steps would be for the approximately 2 weeks after the full moon, the time between the full moon and the new moon. And what you're doing there is you're releasing what you need to release in order to make space for something new that will begin with the new moon. So if you need help with going through that meditation or relaxation moment, I've created a small meditation which you're very welcome to use, and I will link in the comments. But whatever you do, however you relax, whatever is your nature, take some time to do that and prepare for the next 2 weeks. Wishing you all the luck. Have a great... Oh, I almost forgot. And 2 weeks approximately from now, for the new moon, I will post another reading for the new moon to talk about what new seed can be planted, what new beginning will be happening, and what small steps you can take in order to move forward and give it the best potential it can have. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Take care and good luck.